What's up guys, Sal here. So the future of Samsung smartphone is set to look very different from its offering today, with reports that the company is leaning into foldable and adopting the new Z series for its flagship in place of the Note and S series. When Samsung introduced the prototype of the Galaxy Fold a couple of years ago, they also mentioned that the company is considering a family of new form factor smartphones and tablets that could fold, scroll, or stretch. The company has already introduced 3 folding devices as of now, including the Fold, Fold 2 and the Z Flip. And now they're gearing up to launch a rollable smartphone according to the latest information from South Korean media. It says Samsung could launch a smartphone with this form factor as soon as next year. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about how LG is also developing a rollable smartphone of its own, and they even teased it at their launch event. Not just LG, Samsung has had designs on flexible, rollable display for a while now. They got a patent for this type of smartphone way back in 2017. Let's Go Digital made real-life looking renders based on these patents, which give us a better understanding of how this is gonna look and work. As you can see, with this rollable display technology, a phone like the Galaxy Note 20 Ultra can be stretched and turned into a mini tablet. The display gets 50% bigger than its regular mode. Here's how it's supposed to work. A flexible display curves around the side of the device, with the back half of the screen hidden inside the phone. Press a button and motors on the inside slide the phone open, unrolling the back half of the screen so you can have a larger display. Samsung has showcased this foldable display tag back in 2016. At that time, the radius of the display roller was too high, which made it not practical to make a smartphone with that big of a roller. But times have passed and the technology has improved, and they've managed to shrink the radius of the roller so much that now they can put it in a regular size smartphone. TCL also showcased a sliding screen smartphone earlier this year in a prototype stage, but for some reason they didn't release a working phone yet, even after promising to launch one in the second half of 2020. Anyway, phones have basically looked the same for over a decade, black boxes with touchscreens. Devices like the sliding phone, even if it's not here yet, show off what the future of phones might look like. And while the challenges to make these phones are unquestionably real, it's still exciting to see that we're getting closer to a world where they might soon be a reality. A few days ago, we saw that Samsung's 5nm upper mid-range Exynos chipset, the Exynos 1080, comfortably beats the Snapdragon 865 Plus. Exynos 1080 scored 693K, while the Snapdragon 865 Plus scored 648K. It's a huge deal since a new upper mid-range chip is beating a flagship chipset. But that's not it. We also have the Antutu benchmark scores of the new 5nm current flagship chipset that will go inside the Mate 40 Pro to be released in the coming weeks, and the scores are identical to the upper mid-range chipset from Samsung, the Exynos 1080. This just shows that Samsung has done remarkably well to improve its Exynos chipset. If their upper mid-range chip is performing equal to the flagship 5nm chip from Huawei, just imagine how well their flagship Exynos 2100 is gonna perform. Really looking forward to Exynos 2100 and how it's gonna perform against the Snapdragon 875. Let me know what you think about this down in the comments, and as always, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.